What's up, everybody? It's Friday. Hey! Don't play. I'm Drev. I just had to go get a COVID test because maybe I should pay attention right here. I need to get on the highway to go back to my home. I had to come out to Beaver Creek to take a COVID test because my friend told me she got exposed, or she told me she actually had it north. Yeah, I need to go to north, baby. Watch out, I gotta go. Yeah, she told me that she got exposed, so I got a rapid test this morning. My results was negative, baby, and that's a positive, you feel me? But yeah, that's good because now I can just go about my day as I originally thought. And it was nice to ride up here. It's a nice little ride. It's a nice day out. But today's Friday, and usually I post a video on Friday. So I think this is me recording that video that I'm gonna post on Friday. Originally what I wanted to do was talk a little, oh, that's why y'all trailing me, because it's 70. My bad. I wanted to do a video about jobs and talk a little bit about, because I've had a lot of jobs. As much as anybody who knows me knows, I do not like to have a job. I do not like to have a job. I was saying that I wanted to talk about multiple jobs, and you're like, okay girl, why do we care about your jobs? And I was gonna say, like, well, I've had all these jobs, maybe it will help somebody if they're thinking about getting into this field or that field. I've been in a lot of industries in all my job hopping days, okay? So maybe it could help somebody, and maybe there would just be interesting stories I remember, and it'll be fun for me. So I guess I could just do that right now. I could. Maybe I'll try it out. Oh, it's a deer on the side of the road. Should we go chronological order backwards, forward? Should I just go in there and just go to do them as they come to me? I like that idea. The first job that I had was being a tutoring signer upper. So my job, along with two of my other closest friends that I'm still friends with today, our job was to sign kids up for a tutoring program that was funded by this grant. So what we did is we went to whatever area they told us to go to, basically, and we had these clipboards, and we would just knock on the door, tell the people about the tutoring program, tell them if their kid could get picked up and from where, get their name signed or whatever, give them the information they needed, and then the kids would be signed up for the tutoring program that was being paid for by this grant. So I guess the grant, like, they wouldn't have been able to keep the grant if the kids didn't come. So if the kids came, the grant was solid and everything went well. So that was it. And for me, I love that job for two reasons. One was because I love door-to-door stuff. Like, I like that variety. Like, you never know what you're gonna get. I've had other door-to-door jobs too. But like, you never know what you're gonna get when you go to somebody's house. You don't know, even if what they tell you is what you're gonna get after they close the door. And so it's just fun to just be like, try to figure out as much as you can in this little window of time when they open the door and they close the door. And especially if somebody opens the door knowing nothing about a tutoring program. I wasn't thinking all this at the time, but I'm thinking it now. Like, if somebody opens the door, they don't know anything about you, they don't know anything about this program you have, and then they shut the door knowing all about this tutoring program, their kid is signed up for it, somebody who's super valuable to them, their child is now about to be getting picked up based off this tutoring program that you just knocked on their door and told them about. So it's like, wow, like, if you want to talk about powerful interactions, like door-to-door work, yeah, it teaches you how to get in there, make what's necessary happen, find out what needs to be known, and make it happen. So I really like that job. And the second reason I love that job was because I worked with my friends. Like, we basically, we were too young to drive at the time, so we had a driver drive us around in this van, and he would drop us off in the neighborhood, and then we would walk together to each house and knock on the door, talk a little bit, get our names or whatever like that. So for me, it was like, we're just kicking it and making money at the same time. So I loved it. I've had other jobs where I work with friends, and it always makes me feel more comfortable. I feel more at home. I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. For me, my ideal work, when I do settle down into that, hopefully soon, will be working with people that I love. Another job I had where I worked with one of my best friends was McDonald's. That was my first official job, like when it was on record on the books, paid taxes, all that. I was in the tax system, baby. Yeah, it was my first job. I was so nervous. It's funny because I started off as a cashier in the front, and because I was still in school, I was working mostly in the afternoon, but on the weekends I worked the morning. And I remember there was this manager, his name was JJ, and he was just so strict. Like, you know those people you work with and they're like, oh, actually company policy is so-and-so. And I'm like, bro, chill out. Like, everything I was doing, he was like, basically he was giving me feedback. But at the time I'm like, bro, shh. Like, stop telling me, oh, actually when you fill the cup up, you need to fill it up to this. And actually when you add the cream, you add the cream first and then you add the coffee. I'm like, bro, can I live? Like, can you just lay off me a little bit? Like, I don't like, all right, baby, I'm getting over. You ain't got to do all that. Okay, dang, it's a big truck too, trying to intimidate me. So, still hot in here, still hot. Can't get the temperature right. I'm trying to get the soundscape right. Ooh, that's a nice breeze, and the temperature. But anyway, so yeah, I'm like, chill out. So, and then on second shift, it was a whole different thing. Like, I remember I was working, and dang, am I even allowed to say this on video? But I was working in the back, and people were rolling blunts, like my manager was. And back there making cookies. I don't know if I'm allowed to post that or not, but yo, that's what happened when I worked there. So it was a lot more laid back in the afternoon is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, McDonald's, I didn't really like it because I remember usually I would work like, oh, that's so cute, working little 4-hour shifts, like 4 to 8 or something like that. On the weekends I would work longer. But when I tell you, like, they try to get anything out of you they can, like, oh, you don't have school, or oh, can you work this? And what I noticed, because I was nervous and I was kind of nice, like, they would be asking me, they would be calling me on my days off too, like, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't have all that energy for that, and I didn't have the skill at the time to be like, no, I don't want to work no extra time. This is my day off. Off means off. Like, off means don't call me. Off means like I'm doing other. Off means off. Off is off. So I was thinking, like, so they would call me and be like, do you want to come in? But at the time I didn't know how to be like, nah, I don't want to come in, and I'm not coming in. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come in, or oh, do you have anybody else? Or, are you sure? Da da da. And then I'll come in on days I didn't want to. So I think part of my dislike of that job was just I wasn't socially ready to be getting stuff requested of me that I didn't expect. I knew how to deal with, like, okay, this is the schedule, this is how I request days off, like all that. But I didn't know how something just popped up, like how to be like, you know, bug back and be like, I'm not doing that. Like, y'all gonna have to find somebody else, or I was just too scared. I didn't have the social skills. So I'm on the highway with no directions. I'm grown now. Anyway, so that was McDonald's. Didn't have the social skills to say no. Didn't like working in the morning. It was too much pressure because the feedback was all over top of me, and I learned that for me that doesn't work. For some people, they like immediate feedback so they can hurry up and change. For me, I think I'm similar. Like, tell me, but nah, I'm not. I don't like my feedback to be right on top of me. I need room to, like, give me. I need to be able to focus. Like, I need to just have at least, let me do 10 actions, and then you give me feedback on those 10 actions. Not every one action give me feedback on everything. Then I'm focused on what I'm doing, focused on you talking to me, focused on what I'm doing, focused on what you're going to say about what I'm doing. It was too much for me. And then, so like I said, I started that job at the register, and I went from the register to to Fry's. Fry's was cool. Fry's is a lot more chill. It's really straightforward. Pour the fries in the thing, put the fries in the thing, push the button, wait till the fry button dings, take the fries out, add some salt, fluff them up, put them in, clean the salt out so there's no residual salt, which some people don't do, and you can tell because the fries be extra salty. Dump the fries that are no longer sellable. Do that too, or else you will sell cold fries, and do that again. So I did fries for a little bit. That was straightforward. I think, like, that's a good starting position. You get to watch everybody else. Your position's real slow. You're just waiting, you're cooking. I never did do grill. They always have the guys back there, or the girls who look like guys and dress like guys. And then after I did front counter for a little bit, I went back and did drive-through. The boringest stuff ever. And when it's cold, you're always cold because you have to keep opening the window. I did not like that. At the time, I was really religious, so I'd bring my Bible and I would read that back there and also try to convert everybody I work with. That was my time at McDonald's. I didn't enjoy it then, and even right now, it don't sound that enjoyable. Sometimes you would meet people at the counter or something who had an interesting story or who liked you because you interact with like a genuine, hey, I hope you have a good meal type of energy. Otherwise, like, I mean, you can learn at McDonald's. Like, I definitely had to learn, yo, they're gonna run all over me if I don't learn to speak up and say I'm not coming in. Yo, he's gonna keep talking to me unless I tell him I need you to fall back so I can actually do my job and then give me feedback later. I welcome feedback, but this is not the way. Like, I had to learn those things, and I did. My job after that, I was old enough finally to work at a daycare, and I had already been going to church at this place. They had a daycare in the back, so I think they were already needing people, and the guy who ran the place was talking to me about it, and I was like, yeah, maybe I could get on at the daycare. He's like, yeah. So I brought in all my forms, plus my cousin used to work there. So when I tell you, this job is like, you know, something that changes you, like you ain't never gonna be the same. That was the daycare job for me. Like, that was a big turning point in my life, in my thinking life, in my feeling life, in my being life. Like, I learned so much about myself, about people at the daycare. And so basically I worked there when I left high school, because you had to be 18 to work at the daycare. So I was leaving high school and then going into college. I worked there for 2 or 3 years. So my first couple years in college, I worked at the daycare to pay for college because, you know, it was expensive. I went to a pretty expensive school. It was $48,000 a year, and I did have a couple scholarships. I had the scholarship that my city gives out, the foundation, and I also had a scholarship from the school, but it still didn't cover everything. It was cool at first. So they have the daycare split up, at least the one that I worked at, by ages. We had age groups all the way from like new baby infants to school age kids who were in like 5th grade. So they had it split up. They had the infant room, they had the younger baby infants, and then they had the older infants. Then they had the toddler room, they had the younger toddlers and the older toddlers. Then they had the preschool room, and there were 3, it was all one like cohort preschoolers, but there were 3 different classrooms at the time. And then after preschool, they had the school agers, so anywhere from kindergarten to like 5th grade. I mean, I don't think we had, turn signal won't turn on. Like, and they were so pressed for staff that the training was trash. Like, this is what my training looked like. So I signed up. You know how you do your I-9. At the time, dang, what was her name? She had a cool name. Was it Candy? No, what Candy? It was Cray. Cray was her name. Cray was the head of the daycare at the time. So like, she wasn't the lady who did my I-9 or nothing, but she was like the manager. So this is what my training looked like. My first couple of days, I was in the infant room. That's the calmest room. You just sit there till the baby starts crying, in the baby room. Because what else are the babies gonna do? They're so young at this point. They sit there, they cry till they need milk or a diaper change or something. And plus you change them every 2 hours, I think it was. So yeah, you pretty much just sit there, have soft soothing music playing, rock in a rocking chair, pat people, feed people. It was intimidating even still. Like, looking back, I'm like, oh, that's the easiest room. But when I first started, the infant ratio is 5 little babies to 1 teacher. So you're in there with 5 babies. Now say 2 babies need fed at once, what you gonna do? Or say you gotta change multiple diapers, like you don't stagger your diaper changing times. I change everybody at 2 o'clock, so now I gotta change everybody at 4 o'clock. Well, then little JoJo has a blowout and his poop is all up his back. Then you have a problem because little Boo Boo has pee everywhere because you didn't change her in time. So I was intimidated, but I warmed up to it pretty quickly. 5 infants is not that difficult. You just gotta stagger like what you're doing with who, and yeah, things will be okay. I mostly work with toddlers, and I feel like I've been talking so long and I didn't even get out the job yet. I'm tired. I'm tired of talking. So I'm gonna just wrap this up and say, like, that's partial. That's daycare part part 1. I haven't even gotten to the lessons I learned by working at the daycare. And yeah, but McDonald's, tutoring, what do you call those jobs? Door-to-door jobs. Definitely get you a door-to-door job, just so you can, it helps you be a better interactor. You understand that it doesn't take, you don't need to talk to somebody for 3 hours to get everybody what they want. You know what I'm saying? If you want to talk for 3 hours, do that, but you don't have to. You don't have to know somebody for years to establish rapport and trust. You just got to know what to look for. And that's only 3 jobs. I probably worked at least 20, 25 jobs. I've only been fired once. That was from a factory called Muncie. I got much love for people who work at factories because working at a factory is hard on the soul. We work from 5:30 in the morning till 4 in the day. Then we work from 5:30 in the morning till 4 in the day. Sometimes have mandatory overtime. And all we did was operate presses. For those of y'all who don't know, that means you go in there, like say your factory or your warehouse or whatever you want to call it probably specializes in producing one part. We made window generators, so for semi trucks. So that's like, you know how when you roll up a window or you roll down a window, that little mechanical piece, we made that. And that's what the whole place, the whole operation was organized. All the presses in there were organized toward that one piece in a semi truck. And when you operate a press, basically your job is to put those pieces together. But don't get it twisted. You're putting one piece to one piece. So say we have a factory together. We make shoes. You're not about to sit there and make a shoe. It's not like everybody's making a shoe. You have all your materials, you put the shoe together, you see the shoe, like, oh dang, I made a shoe. By the end of the day, you look and you say, dang, I've been here for 10 hours, 9 hours. I made this many shoes. I've been very productive. No. What you're going to sit there and do is put the little plastic pieces on the end of the shoelace. You're going to put those on all day. You're going to have a break, a 15-minute break. You're going to come back and you're going to finish putting them on. You're going to have a break for lunch. That's 30 minutes. It's going to feel like 5 minutes. So as soon as you eat and as soon as you finish, the break's going to be over. You're going to go back and you're going to go put in those plastic parts on the shoes. Then you're going to hear a bell, take another 15-minute break. You're going to go back to putting plastic on the shoelaces. When the day is over, you don't know how many pieces of plastic you put on shoelaces. You just know that you've been doing that repetitive motion all day. Your shoulder starts to hurt. Your elbow is sore because you've been just doing the same motion all day. But it's time for you to leave, so you go home. You never see the shoe. All you see is the tip of a shoelace and a plastic piece. And you're not doing it. You're pushing the button so a machine does it. That's what operating a press is like. In the factory I worked at. It's depressing. It's boring as freak. But you know what? I made a lot of money. I traveled a lot that summer. And but yeah, we got fired from there. But like, how do you not get fired? They didn't want us to talk. They did not want us to talk. How do you not talk? How do you stay awake pushing a button without talking? So I got fired with 4 other people. We were all from the temp agency. I'm not gonna keep us anyway. And that was that. Never do it again unless I have to. God forbid. That was that job. And you know what? I was walking one day and somebody yelled to me, like, sometimes you could leave to go get lunch. Well, you could always leave, but you only got 30 minutes and it goes by so fast. So I was walking one day, just taking a walk. Somebody coming back from lunch rides past me, and or were they going to lunch? And don't run away. You tell me that's not some slave type stuff. I know I probably wasn't the only one who thought, like, dang, something in me just wants me to run from this place. I value my freedom. Okay, I think I've said enough about jobs for right now. I have a headache. I've been eating too many plantain chips. I need to eat an orange or something. I have my meeting in 15 minutes. So, I'm going to get to that. But, thanks for listening. Hope it helped you. Bye.